Panama. Is it a country that you consider getting residency? Well, I chose it as my number 9. I've been here in Panama for multiple times and I've decided after more than 2 years to pull the trigger. So I've considered pros, cons, this decision very thoroughly. And now I can say, yes, this is a good move. And I'm not the only one. There's actually many business owners, many crypto investors, many people that want more freedom, more sovereignty in their life are choosing Panama. Why? Let's start just with the geographic position. Where is it? Central America, Panama Channel. There's a lot of boats that go by and there's a lot of money being made through the Panama Channel connecting the Atlantic with the Pacific. So it's a very strategic point. You also have Costa Rica on one side, one neighbor, the other neighbor is Colombia. Well, Latin America is pretty flexible. You would easily go by land to one of the two countries. Now, there are some cons, like you will probably never get the Panamanian passport, but that's something we're gonna get into a little bit later. Also choose well where you're staying. Not everything is as safe and you will see it, you will smell it. And if it's something that you don't want to have this feeling of, I'm in a third world, then choose really well the area because otherwise you're gonna feel it. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel it because this is not Dubai, this is not Miami, this is not like all of these developed cities 100%. About residency, tax residency. Residency is pretty easy. You get temporary residency, you can create your own company, you can become an employee of an existing company, and with that, they give you temporary residency. There's also this thing with the friendly nations, visas, that also for some nationalities, the list is pretty extensive. You can get much more easily this temporary residency in Panama, but basically temporary residency is pretty straightforward. It's something that you can do in just one morning. You submit the papers, then some power of attorney for the lawyers, for example, our team and our partners, they can handle it for you, and then voila. After 2 years, you can swap it for permanent residency. Again, some requirements, but it's Latin America, my friend. It's pretty flexible of how much time you need to spend during these 2 years of TR to then turn it into permanent residency. And once you're a permanent resident, that's, I believe, the ultimate thing I want to get out of Panama, out of planting this flag. I'm not expecting the passport. It was really, really difficult before, even for people that have been living here in the country for more than 5 years full time, 12 months a year, which I know it's probably not you. That being said, makes it pretty difficult for you to obtain the Panamanian citizenship. Now, things are changing and I will keep updating you because we are receiving some good news of people that are getting approved by naturalization. Again, they are getting approved, the ones that spend full time, 12 months. And then as you start reducing from 6 months to less of these multiple years of staying in the country while being a permanent resident to then apply for naturalization, well, the odds are against you. The less time you spend in the country, the less rules you have, which is obvious, right? If you want something fast and something that does not require you to live in a country, don't be delusional, just invest in a CBI, get a Caribbean, Vanuatu, get Turkey, get other passports that do not have any of these requirements of living in a country. Now, we don't know for how long relationships are going to stay like this, political relationships. Maybe in 5 years they change. Maybe the world is completely different in 10 years and becoming or being a Panama permanent resident is even more valuable than today. So this could be your opportunity to buy Bitcoin at $100 and then let it grow. When you invest in a new residency, you are investing in an asset that you don't know what can turn into. The good thing is that there's no downside. Like you're not gonna get drafted on the military, you don't have many obligations, let's say, that depending on the citizenship you get and your age, you could have in another country. So there's really no downside to getting and stacking residencies. And then think a little bit more if you want to commit to getting a citizenship. But PR in Panama, permanent residency for me, many upsides. Put me in the comments, what's the downside you see on this? I mean, besides, yes, you need to make an investment in the legal fees and the time, but after that, what's the downside of having that ID card? Let me know. I would love to expand my mind if I'm missing something. Now, when you are a resident, you have options to even more bank accounts. So it means that you can open a crypto-friendly bank account from an exchange. You sell the crypto, and that exchange in fiat, in US dollars, is sent to a Panama bank account. More than 6 figures in just one transaction, 0 issues, 0 frozen funds. Try to do that. Sometimes, you send money to Wise and it says $14 because of this, and they don't like the concept you put and they freeze your account. Or other banks blocking you because you paid $2 on an Uber in a new country. And it's like, oh, we're protecting you from fraud. Be careful, like that they're not robbing you $2 on this Uber in Panama. There are banks that are like too sensitive. There are other banks that are your allies. And that's my experience with this one in Panama. I've been a client for over 3 years. We have helped many get an account in this bank. And also other banks in Panama, you can choose. There's many options. And once you're a resident, it's much easier for them to say yes. Now, the other thing is, what about taxes? Tax residency in Panama. What's the truth? Because you're going to read something in the law, and then I'm going to tell you what we see in reality. Then you decide what you want to do. Verify everything that I say. This is no legal advice. I'm just sharing with you from experience because we work with this every week. Tax residency, you can get it pretty easily. Now, when you leave tax-wise a country, let's say you're moving out of whatever country you're paying 40, 45%, 50% in taxes, and you want to move to Panama, and you need to get a tax residency certificate to show your previous high tax country, hey, I officially moved here, and you need some proof, you need something to back up your words and to prove them that, yeah, okay, I'm transitioning and it's completely legal. For that tax residency certificate, it's advised that you live here in Panama for at least 2 months. You get it, okay? If you stay more than 6, it's even more robust because you're crossing the 183-day rule. Now, if let's say year 2, year 3, you need to renew this tax residency certificate with less time, with less than 6 months, it's also possible. Now, if you don't need the tax residency certificate because you're already coming from another low tax country, let's say that before you were a Paraguayan tax resident and Paraguay is not going to bother you, so it's not going to ask you for anything. Literally, you leave Paraguay, you move to Panama, voila, done. Because Paraguay and let's say Denmark or the Netherlands or Germany or Spain, 2 complete different worlds. Welcome to Latin America. So you leave Paraguay, you get the tax residency certificate once, that's it. Then you just need to keep your tax ID active. You need to have these declarations, tax declarations that, because Panama is a territorial tax country, you don't pay taxes on anything that you generate outside of Panama. That's the loophole. So you're generating money through an LLC, you generate money through whatever. There's 1,000 combinations. And again, that's something that we'll validate with you one-on-one. So I don't want to give advice to these and it's going to be 0% taxes. I'm not just going to say that here because I don't know your case. Check with us. You can always book a call on the link down below and we're going to analyze your case. Our expert lawyers that know everything A to Z, how it works in Panama. And then they are not just experts in taxes in Panama. That can be any law firm here. They are experts in how a Panamanian tax residency interacts with another structure. Could be a company, a holding company, investments, etc. outside of Panama. That's what we specialize in. We understand how all of the pieces of the puzzle work together. Now, tax residency ID, this tax ID, right? You just need a few days every year to keep it. The law says more than 6 months, but Panama is pretty flexible. You can legally pay 0% taxes. Pros and cons, Paraguay and Panama. Panama, I would say it's more advanced. Paraguay, I would say I feel safer in many areas, but for example, Panama is much safer on the business area, a bit less safe in some streets on the Casco Viejo in downtown. The same in Paraguay, right? If you get out of Villamorra and Recoleta and all of that shopping Mariscal area, that's the safest area. If you move to other parts in the center, the government offices, everything, it's a bit less safe than in the new area that everything is booming in terms of real estate. Why don't you go to both and feel it for yourself? Because people ask me, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Man, it just takes one plane ticket. Like, you have money. Come on. Like, it's an important decision, becoming a resident of a place or not. Language, the same, Spanish and Spanish, Paraguay and Panama. I would say that Panama attracts higher caliber people in terms of business, investors. Like, Paraguay attracts more the digital nomad or a person that just wants to coast through life making a few thousand a month. Panama, I would say it's more designed for international business owners that are at a higher level. I would say that the facilities as well, for example, in Panama, as you could see in the podcast with Mr. Alex, he has one of the best, biggest and safest gold vaults in whole Latin America. Where is it? In Panama City. Now, what Panama excels is foundations and its companies to give you some anonymity, to give you protection. If you're thinking about holding companies, if you think about trusts, Panama foundations can be really, really robust. Think that at the level of Nivis Holdings, Cook Islands Trust, there's Panama foundations. Not the same, but they could be at that level depending on what you need. And might be an overkill to pay $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 for a trust in the Cook Islands if you can do something for cheaper in the Panama Foundation structure. So more expensive is not always the best. Panama Foundations are one of these little secrets that if you know how to tap into, it's crazy. If you are interested, let me know, and you just want to have it tailored to you, to see if Nevis or Cook Islands or Singapore or Dubai or LLC or even Trust in the US or the Panama Foundation combination is the best for you, just book a call. We're just gonna analyze your case and tell you, hey, because of this you present, this is the best structure, these are the pros, the cons, the timelines, and the prices. What more questions you have about Panama? I think I covered pretty much everything. And as always, I share with you the proof of what I've done, that actually what I'm talking about, I know it because I navigate it myself. I put my money on the line. I go through the process myself, so I can tell you the ins and outs, the A to Z. So we're creating not just residencies, but the full package of when you arrive, first-class treatment. If that's what you want, fantastic. Link in the description. If you want more information, there's a new video. Actually, you can watch it over here. Watch it now. I'll see you there.